Ladies and gentlemen, since the dawn of time, mankind is asking itself a question: coffee or tea? Diesel or maybe rather gasoline? AR-15 or AK? Well, I don't care what you drink, I don't care what you drive with, but today I'm gonna try to answer the question: which replica is better? This one or maybe that one? So stay tuned. Alright, we'll start with this beautiful LCT only because the original is a bit older than original AR-15. Now, this is LCT, so all of the metal things you see are made of steel. And this what looks like a real plywood is a real plywood, and it's really shiny. It's almost too nice to be replica of original that's sometimes very rugged. Now, when the replica is made of steel, it means that it's very durable for any circumstances. So if you drop it on the ground, you can be sure that nothing is gonna break. But with this classical look, there are also disadvantages. Now, original did not have any kind of wrist rail or any kind of a mount here. So if you wanted to make it a bit more modern, you would need to change some parts. But if you choose classical model, why to change it? Here we've got a classical design of AR-15. This one is made by Specna Arms with Rock River Arms logo. It's made mostly of aluminum and polymer, as was and still is the original one, and the magazines are here made of polymer, but you can find many steel or aluminum magazines on the market. It looks very classical, but if you unscrew the carry handle, you get the access to wrist rail for extra accessories, especially optics. There are also designs in which the carry handle is integrated with upper receiver, but usually they've got this hole, and this is used to mount a wrist rail on the top of the carry handle. So as for making it more modern and adopting optics, it's a bit easier than in standard AK, especially AK without side rail. And it's really light comparing to steel replica. But if I wanted to choose to drop something on the ground, I would for sure choose LCT, just in case. Alright, so we started with replicas of classic AK and classic AR-15, and even though the AR was a bit more modern than AK, here we've got almost the latest AR-15. Okay, I know, it's a replica of certain German assault rifle, but to be honest, it's almost like standard AR-15. Although we've got here ambidextrous fire selector, ambidextrous bolt release, and of course on the other side, here, and ambidextrous magazine release. So compared to even modernized AKs, we've got more features here still. Even though the barrel shroud is made of metal, it is very light. You've got a lot of space here for wrist rails, for extra accessories, attachment points for your sling, very utilitarian airsoft battle rifle, and very comfortable indeed, as the original is. But is there something that could fight in a war against which is better replica? A modern AK. Now, this AK by LCT is mostly made of steel and aluminum, like wrist rails, like top cover with a monolithic wrist rail, and pieces of the stock that is of course adjustable. Now, still very heavy, but plenty of room for extra accessories, and this top cover does hold zero, so no problem with optics here. And as you can see, we've got here also a sign mount for optics mount. I don't know if we need one, so since we've got wrist rail, but there's a full variety of mounts and this beautiful muzzle device. So, if you want to go modern, you can choose something like this. Alright, so which kind of replica would be better? Now, if you're thinking about something that is light, replicas of AR-15 and kinds of AR-15 will be lighter than replicas of AKs. Of course, we are talking about replicas which are made of the same material. So steel, aluminum always will be lighter, but aluminum is more delicate than steel. So if you're looking for something very rugged and you plan to crawl a lot and maybe you're just clumsy and drop things on the ground, a replica of AK would be stronger than a replica of AR-15. Now, if we are talking about accessories, AR-15, even if it in its classical design is able to have a mount for optics, so it's a bit more utilitarian, and mounting grenade launchers, for example, is a bit easier than in AK, but in AK, grenade launcher, of course, is not off limits. As we can see, for the modern designs, well, you can choose whatever you want, and the AK will be as universal and versatile as AR-15, still usually being a bit heavier. But mounting optics on the top cover, no problem here. So let's talk about mechanics. These are all electric replicas. In ARs we've got V2 gearbox, in AKs V3. It doesn't mean that V3 is more modern design of a gearbox. It just have a different shape, and with this comes a bit more durability, generally speaking, because of course it all depends on the producer, but generally V3 gearboxes can withstand more punch than V2 gearboxes. So if you are looking for something that will work longer, theoretically and statistically V3 gearbox will work longer. But if you are looking for style, if you're looking for something that you love, for example, you love your game in which you were using this or that replica on any other, then the choice is easy. Just find the best AK or best AR that you can afford, and then have fun. As for me, through many years of me being Airsoft player, I owned both AKs and ARs, but at the moment I do not own a single AK replica. That being said, if I am at the shooting range, I usually choose real AK over real AR-15. I know I'm that kind of a guy, but that doesn't mean that I will not have Airsoft replica of AK in the future. So I know that I did not answer the question from the beginning of this video. I'm sorry, but in real life there is still a quarrel which real firearm is better, AR-15 or AK, and this will not end because we've got many players, we've got many shooters, and every one of them has their own way of seeing the life. So see you again in another episode of Gunfire TV. Leave a like, comment which of replicas you would choose and why, and hit the bell, and of course subscribe. Adios.